What is going on, guys? Earth Twister here, and we're coming at you with another Marvel Champions video, and we are taking Hawkeye up against Hela and her minions in order to see how well we can do. Now, Hela is one of my favorite scenarios. It just seems like a lot of fun. You start off already with these side schemes, and you're working through them in order to try and defeat her, and as you go, she gets more powerful, but hopefully you're getting more powerful along the way. Also, I just really enjoy the Hela scenario a lot. A lot, a lot. Hawkeye, on the other hand, in Marvel Champions, I don't enjoy him all that much. He can be pretty fun, but he's also pretty weak. So there are a few things that just make him not quite so fun. As you can see, I've already had some difficulty with him on the health side over here, and we're starting over again from a different previous attempt. So let's just go ahead and see how well we do here with this. So there is our player deck shuffled. Let's get the encounter deck shuffled. Nice and shuffled. I want to keep the Frost Giants out of here, man. Frost Giants cause a lot of problems. All right. There we go. We have a threat to start with on Odin's Torment. Odin is attached to the main scheme there. Nibalier is in play with 2 threat plus 1 for the hinder. And Garm is in play with the toughness. Hela's hit points are set to 8. And my hit points, Hawkeye's, are set to 9. There we go. So let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to look at our first hand. We get a What Doesn't Kill Me, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Sonic Arrow, Helicarrier, Yocasta, and a Desperate Defense. Okay, so if we keep Yocasta, we can definitely get rid of Desperate Defense, just because there's no point there. But is having Yocasta coming into play worth it? Because she's a 3-cost card. If we keep an Earth's Mightiest Heroes, it might be worth it. And then we can get rid of Desperate Defense. The Sonic Arrow, I think we won't want that one right off the bat. And the What Doesn't Kill Me, can't use that on the first turn anyways. So we could start with this. Let's look at our next 3 cards. Sonic Arrow. Okay. All right. This gives me a plan. First thing is I'm going to use Iron Fist as a resource to trigger Hawkeye's weapon of choice action. So spend a resource of any type and search my deck for Hawkeye's bow, then put that into my hand. It is a 0-cost event, so it's basically like putting into play, but at the same time, I could just use it as a resource. So, which would be interesting because you're getting rid of a resource to gain the resource. It is wild, so I guess that's somewhat helpful if you're looking for certain kickers. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and flip up. Let's put Hawkeye's bow into play. Then we are left with this. I think Hawkeye's bow will go there. Ooh, okay. I know I thought about getting Yocasta in, but let's use these 3 as resources to play Helicarrier. Helicarrier will trigger to play Endurance. Endurance will go right here. Gives me plus 3 hit points, so I go from 9 to 12. Those 3 hit points will make a difference. All right. So now I have Hawkeye. Let's swing at Garm to knock the tough off. There we go. Then we'll ready. Having this on the table already is going to be big. Draw up. Okay. Got an interesting hand here. Would love to see an Expert Marksman, but we don't have it. That's okay. So threat's going to go up from 1 to 3 because of the acceleration icon. Hela's going to attack for 1 plus a boost. 1, 2, 3. So I take 3, go down to 9, and Garm will attack for 2, so I go down to 7. Get an an advance. So 1, 2, 3. We're already at 6 threat. That's not great. Okay. Hawkeye's bow is going to trigger. Helicarrier is going to play Cable Arrow for me, which is going to trigger to exhaust Hawkeye's bow, and it will remove 3 threat from a scheme, ignoring any crisis icons. Perfect. I think the next thing we'll do is we'll use these 3 as resources to pay for Mockingbird. Bring her into play. I think we can handle the 3 threat for now, so I'm going to swing for 3 with Hawkeye at Garm, and Mockingbird, taking a consequential, will finish him off. So we're just not dealing with him anymore. Garm is out of play. Okay. Should be good here. Draw up our hand. 3, 4, 5. Got a good hand there. But there's no desperate defense. All right. What do we want to do here? We've got threat that goes up here by 2, so from 3 to 5. Hela will attack for 1 plus a boost. Do I want to spend a resource? Do the electric arrow. And that leaves... I want to get Hawkeye's quiver down. Okay. I think I'll take it. So 1, 2, and I get stunned. So I go from 7 to 5. Then Hela gives me an encounter card, which is her Night Sword. Let's see what we do here. I think I'm going to exhaust to remove my stunned. So I'm attacking. Remove my stunned. Helicarrier. Vibranium arrow. And armored vest are going to pay for Quinn Carrier. Quinn Carrier will pay for Hawkeye's quiver. Hawkeye's quiver is going to go ahead and look at the top 5 cards of my deck. Give me a preview of what I'm going to have. See no arrow events. Hawkeye's bow won't be exhausted. Mockingbird will thwart 2 off of the main. Takes a consequential for that. And ready up. Okay. We'll draw up to our hand size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Threat will go up by 2. Hela will attack for 2 plus a boost. I'm going to spend a resource of any type. So Quinn Carrier is going to be my resource. When the villain initiates an attack, so she's initiating an attack, I spend a resource of any type and return Mockingbird to my hand. Prevent all damage from that attack. So she's attacking for 2, 3, 4. I take no damage. All right. Get an encounter card, and I'm frozen. So I cannot ready unless I flip down to Alter Ego and pay with those resources. That's always what you want. Let's see here. Let's use Hawkeye's quiver. 3, 4, 5. No arrow events. So it would be good to use Helicarrier to get an expert marksman down. Expert marksman is going to pay with power of protection for an electric arrow, stun an enemy, and deal 3 damage to him. So Hela gets stunned, and she takes 3 damage. So she goes from 8 to 5. That does exhaust Hawkeye's bow. Ooh, I thought I had more resources in my hand. I think we're going to use... Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna thwart one off of the main. I'm unfortunately gonna have to lose Mockingbird here. So that's 4 threat down, flipping down to Alter Ego. Mockingbird and Indomitable are gonna be a physical and a mental, and I totally botched that. A physical and an energy resource to get rid of Frozen. I have an Avengers Mansion still in my hand. Let's go ahead and ready. We'll draw up to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Threat goes up by 2, taking us up to 6 threat. Hela schemes for 1, 2, taking us up to 8 threat. And she schemes again for 1, 2, taking us up to 10 threat. Things are a little out of control here. I'm going to use a Helicarrier to play downtime. So I get +2 to my recovery. I'm going to exhaust to heal for 5. That gets me back up to 10. And then I'm going to flip up. Quinn Carrier, Angel's Airy, the Night Nurse, and Force Field Generator will pay for Avengers Mansion. I guess we'll put kind of tucked in there. Avengers Mansion will exhaust to draw me a card. It is an energy. Hawkeye's Quiver will exhaust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, the Cable Arrow is actually really good to use right now. The Cable Arrow, the Explosive Arrow, and the Electric Arrow. Let's take the Cable Arrow, which the Expert Marksman and Hawkeye's Bow are going to exhaust to pay for it, and remove 3 threat from this scheme, bringing us from 10 back down to 7. So unfortunately, I think that is both of my Cable Arrows used. Yeah. So we're in a little bit of trouble here if we don't get any more allies on the field. Okay. I'm going to hang on to these 2 cards, and we're going to ready. And draw up to our hand of 5. Okay, we do have a Desperate Defense, so we're not... Well, she's stunned, so it doesn't really matter. But threat goes up by 2, so that takes us from 7 up to 9. That's half of the scheme there. Hela would attack, but she's stunned. Get an encounter card. When revealed, no place for the living. Each player must choose to either discard the upgrade or support they control with the highest cost, or take damage equal to the total number of upgrades and supports they control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would take me down to 2 health. And I don't have a great way to bring that back up. So I guess we're getting rid of the Avengers Mansion. Dang. Okay. That was her encounter card. So first off, Hawkeye's Quiver. We get an explosive arrow. That'll be good to hang on to. For sure. Then we'll use an expert marksman and a helicarrier to pay for electric arrow. Exhaust Hawkeye's bow. Stun an enemy and deal 3 damage to it. So exhaust Hawkeye's bow. Will stun Hela, and she takes 3 damage. If she'd still been stunned already, she would have taken 5 instead. Okay. Stunning her is going to be really good. We use Quinn Carrier and get down an Unflappable. That'll be better for later. We're able to defend and not take damage. You'll be surprised that we can actually do that. Speaking of which, we'll use an energy to pay for Judoka skill. That's 3 counters. So every counter removes -2, or removes 2 attack from the attacking person. Now Hawkeye can attack or thwart. I think thwarting is going to be the biggest thing that we want to do here, simply because she's stunned, and even if she wasn't stunned, we have Judoka skill, which would help. So let's go ahead. Yeah, let's thwart one with Hawkeye. And we'll ready and draw up to our hand size of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can definitely do a what doesn't kill me. That will be really good. Threat goes up by 2, bringing us up to 10. Hela would attack. She's stunned. Hawkeye's just so stunning. Then we get an encounter card where she does attack. So she's attacking for 1, 2. I'm going to exhaust to defend and use an helicarrier to pay for desperate defense. So I'm defending for 4. No, for 3. The Judoka skill will remove her 2 attacks. So she's going to attack for 0 plus a boost. I'm defending for 3. 2. I take no damage. I get to ready and trigger unflappable. So I draw a card. That was her encounter card. We're in pretty good shape here. Let's do Quinn Carrier to get down our other expert marksman. I will exhaust to thwart 1 from Odin's Torment. Then I will use a strength to pay for what doesn't kill me, which I get to heal 2 damage from my hero, so I go from 10 back up to 12. And then I get to ready. Hawkeye's Quiver is going to exhaust to look at the top 5 cards of our deck. Get to see what's coming. We get a lot of good resources. We'll go ahead and take the Vibranium Arrow and hang on to it. The Energy Barrier is going to pay for Electrostatic Armor, which basically gives me Retaliate 1. So I just need to remember that it's there. All right, so I could play the Explosive Arrow or the Vibranium Arrow, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to thwart 1 more with Hawkeye, so that it just brings us back to 10 instead of, we're kind of keeping pace with the threat that's going up. We can defend well enough now with the Judoka skill, and we are at full health, so that's good. So let's go ahead and ready up. We'll draw our hand of 5. Okay, North Star is going to be good. Okay. Threat goes up by 2. Hela attacks for 2 plus a boost. We will use a helicarrier, defend with Hawkeye, and play Desperate Defense. So we're defending for 3. We'll use a Judoka skill, so her attack goes down to 0. And she's attacking for 0. Get to ready, get to trigger Unflappable, and draw a card. We get a Daredevil. All right. Encounter card? Shadows of the Past. No. Okay. Well, we get a Crossfire who comes in with Quick Strike and a Marked for Death, and shuffle these cards into the encounter deck. I guess can be, kind of good because that gives us more space, a little bit more space till we get an acceleration token. All right. Crossfire comes in and attacks me for 2. I'm just going to use a Judoka skill. He attacks me for 0. I won't defend. Oh, I guess I am defending. because you have to be able to defend. You have to defend in order for that to count. So I take no damage. I defended for 1, took no damage. Although, no, I think I'm not going to do that. I'll defend. No, I won't defend. I won't defend. I'll take the 2. I forgot that I had a what doesn't kill me in my hand, so we'll be okay. All right. Hawkeye's Quiver. We're looking at the top 3 cards of our deck. There are no arrow events. So we could do Explosive Arrow. That could be good, because at least we're getting... Oh, I forgot. That comes in with 5 threat. We need to make sure that we get rid of that threat as soon as possible. So let me get a... There we go. 5 threat. It also finds Mockingbird for us, which can be good. There's Mockingbird. And she gets attached face up beneath that. Okay. So... do I bring in North Star? So it's 3 resources for North Star. I could overpay for what doesn't kill me. I think so. Yeah. All right. We're gonna use an expert marksman to pay for an explosive arrow, exhaust Hawkeye's bow, and deal 3 damage. And choose a player. I choose myself. Deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. We deal 3 damage to Crossfire and 3 damage to Hela, taking her from 2 to 0. If Hela would be defeated, if Odin is attached to the scheme, which he is, discard each attachment from Hela and flip her to her wounded side. Okay? So she gets flipped. All right. Her attachments are all off of her, and she's flipped to her wounded side. Okay. Then Hawkeye is going to swing at Crossfire to defeat him. I'm going to use a Power of Protection as 2 resources and a Quinn Carrier for a 3rd resource. Let me see, actually. Is there a better way to do this so I don't overpay for something? Actually, I could save Quinn Carrier. I don't know why we would need to save Quinn Carrier, but there's not really any other way to do this. I could save Daredevil in my hand. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and use a what doesn't kill me. So power protection, 2 wild resources. One of them at least will be a physical resource for what doesn't kill me. I heal 2 damage from my hero and ready him. So we'll heal up to 12 and ready. Then I'm going to use Quinn Carrier and Genius as 2 more resources to pay for North Star. North Star comes in. And we're going to thwart both of us off of Marked for Death. Remove 3 threat. Still Daredevil in my hand and a Judoka skill. Go, let's ready. Draw up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I decked out, so I get an encounter card. And let's shuffle up our deck. We're getting our cable arrows back into our deck, so hopefully those come up to the top and we can get them with our quiver. All right. So we have 4 cards in hand. Draw 1 more. It's a Yokasta. All right. North Star would take a consequential for that thwart. Okay. Threat goes up by 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's where things start kind of getting out of control a little bit, is the fact that now we are suddenly at 13 threat out of 18. Hela attacks for 0 plus a boost. I have nothing in hand. I defend for 1. And still trigger. Yeah. I'll defend for 1. Hela will attack for 0 plus a boost. She will attack for -2 plus a boost. So, she does no damage to me. I get to trigger Unflappable and draw a card. Well, now we get a Desperate Defense. That saves North Star to be able to help me out with a couple more activations of thwarting or attacking as is needed. Then we get encounter cards, so we get 2 of them, 1 for decking out and 1 for regular. Fallen Warrior, so I have to discard cards from the top of my deck until I get an ally. Okay, please tell me. Dang it, there's a cable arrow. Oh, man. Iron Fist. Oh, man. So many cards just got discarded. And so he's going to engage me as a minion who can scheme for 1. And then when revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme and then 1 additional threat on the main scheme for each side scheme in the victory display. So there is no additional threat placed, just 1. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to trigger Hawkeye's Quiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do the explosive arrow. We'll go ahead and trigger it. The explosive arrow exhausts the Hawkeye's bow, and it does 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with me. So that goes ahead and removes Iron Fist from play. Hela, well, I guess I could have done something else, but Hela doesn't take any damage. Okay. We'll use a Helicarrier to put Blade into play. We will use a Desperate Defense, a Quinn Carrier, and an Indomitable. So that's 1, 2, 3 resources for Yocasta. And Yocasta is going to pull a Desperate Defense, something that I'll be able to play um, in the villain phase. All right. Yocasta will thwart for 2. She takes 2 consequential for that. That's coming off of here. And then North Star will thwart for 1 off of Marked for Death. We get Mockingbird back to our hand. He takes a consequential for that. Blade. Blade will thwart for 1, and I'm going to use a physical resource here. And he takes a consequential. Blade is in here not necessarily for activations, but to help me with Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I just needed him to thwart a little bit now to help out with some of that. So we have a Mockingbird and an Energy Barrier left in our hand. Let's go ahead and ready. Draw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Threat goes up by 2, bringing us up to 15. Hela's going to attack. She would flip over because the side scheme was defeated. So she's going to attack for 1 plus a boost. I'm going to defend for 1. And then I'm going to use this. So I'm going to trigger it with Helicarrier. So I'm going to use a Desperate Defense. So I get +2 to my defense. So 1, 2, 3. She's attacking for 1, 2. I take no damage from that. So I get to ready and draw a card. Angel's Airy. Encounter card is Hela's Cloak. So she gains Stalwart, which means I need to defeat her probably pretty quick here so that I can do any stunning and confusing that I need to. All right. I think what'll be good here, I'm going to use Yocasta. She's going to take 2 consequential to thwart 2 off of Odin's Torment. She's going to be defeated. I'm going to use a Quinn Carrier, a Angel's Airy, and an Energy Barrier as 3 resources to pay for Mockingbird. Mockingbird comes into play. She'll thwart for 2 off of Odin's Torment, bringing it down to 11. She takes a consequential. Hawkeye's Quiver will trigger, allowing me to look at the top 5 cards of my deck. And we'll pull the Cable Arrow. Expert Marksman will trigger to pay for the Cable Arrow. Exhaust Hawkeye's Bow, remove 3 threat from his scheme, ignoring any crisis icons. So that brings it down to 8. I could defeat her to be able to stun her eventually. Or I could let her be Stalwart for now and thwart. Yeah, I'll thwart 1 more here off of this scheme. Okay, now I'm going to ready. I will discard the Night Nurse and draw up 3 more cards. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, this is what I have played in here for. All right. Threat goes up by 2, bringing us up to 9. Hela attacks for 1 plus a boost. We're going to use a Quinn Carrier to play Desperate Defense. I will exhaust to defend. So 1, 2, 3. So she's attacking for 1. And she gets her crown. I take no damage for that, so I get to ready because of Desperate Defense and draw a card because of Unflappable. Got another Desperate Defense. Get an encounter card. Place 1 threat on the main scheme and 1 additional threat on the main scheme for each side scheme in the victory display. So it just gets 1. It's back at 10. All right. Hawkeye. Hawkeye is going to swing. Hawkeye's Quiver is going to look at the top 5 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we'll get the Vibranium Arrow. Expert Marksmen are going to trigger to play Vibranium Arrow. Does 6 damage and has piercing. So we'll go with 6 damage on Hela, bringing her down to 2 health. And then Hawkeye will swing for 3, which defeats her. When she would be defeated, she gets flipped to her wounded side and removed her attachments. So she's no longer Stalwart. Now we'll use an Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Exhaust Blade and ready Hawkeye. Earth's Mightiest Heroes, exhaust an Avenger character you control, Blade to ready another one. Okay. Well, do I? Yeah. And we're going to exhaust Mockingbird to remove 2 threat here. She takes a consequential. Huh. I'm going to use a Quinn Carrier to play Indomitable. So we'll put that there to remember that I want to use it at some point. I think we're going to draw up and ready after we thwart for 1 with Hawkeye. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Threat goes up by 2, bringing us back up to 9. Hela attacks for 0 plus a boost. I'm going to let it come through. And then I'm going to spend a resource to return Mockingbird to my hand and prevent all of the damage anyways. So 0, 1. Take no damage and Mockingbird comes back to my hand. We get an encounter card. The villain attacks. I'm going to use Helicarrier to play Desperate Defense and defend for 3. So 0, 0. She wouldn't have done damage anyways. I get to ready and trigger Inflappable, drawing a card. Man, Hela, things are not working out for you, are they? Okay. Now, those have been exhausted. What I'm going to do is trigger the quiver to look at the top 5 cards. There are no events. So, I think we go for 1, 2, 3 resources here to pay for Mockingbird. She comes back into play. Mockingbird thwarts 2 off of nip, yeah, that word. Goes to 1. Then, yeah, she takes a consequential. I will use, here's what I'm thinking. I have the Vibranium Arrow, so whatever minion comes into play can be defeated easily enough. It would just be the main scheme that's a concern. So I'm going to use Earth's Mightiest Hero. And instead of readying Hawkeye, we're going to ready Mockingbird. She'll thwart 2 here. Bringing that down to 7. Then Hawkeye will thwart 1 off of this scheme. Defeating this scheme and putting it in the victory display, which we're going to go ahead and add behind Hela. So remember that she gets a +1/+1. She gets to flip back up, and she gets 10 hit points. Okay. Once that's defeated, what do we bring in? We bring in Gibraltar and Scourge. So here comes Scourge. He's all thinking he's big and tough. So he gets a tough status card. And here comes Gibraltar with 4 threat on it. Now it's just going to give her an extra boost rather than an acceleration token. So Scourge enters play, and Hawkeye's like, nah, dude, I'm just going to let you leave play. So we're going to trigger 2 Expert Marksmen to pay for Vibranium Arrow, which has piercing and does 6 damage. So we remove his tough and defeat Scourge. That does exhaust Hawkeye's bow. All right, that was good. That was good. So we're going to go ahead and ready. Mockingbird, I think, does have a second consequential on her. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get an extra encounter card. Shuffle up our deck. Wouldn't have been so bad if we hadn't had to discard all of those cards in order to get a ally in play that was a minion a while back. But I think we're getting pretty set up here. I think pushing Hela now is going to be a good thing to do. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. That goes up by 2. Ah, no. It just goes up by 1. There we go. So we're at 8. We're much slower now. Hela attacks for 1, 2. And I'm going to let that come at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. North Star is actually going to take a damage because when a boost card is turned face up during an attack, deal 1 damage to North Star and cancel all boost icons on that card. So that cancels those 4, meaning I just take 2 damage. Thank you, North Star. So I go from 12 down to 10. We get our encounter cards. We get a Frost Giant with Toughness. And Sniper Shot. I take 3 damage. So I go from 10 down to 7. All right. Worse things have happened, yeah? Okay. What do we do here? Hawkeye's Quiver. It's going to look at the top 5 cards of the deck. We get a Cable Arrow. We'll take it. Then Hawkeye. We'll use an Expert Marksman to play Cable Arrow. Exhaust Hawkeye's Bow. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, ignoring any crisis icons. Remove 3 threat there. Hawkeye will exhaust to deal 3 damage to remove his tough. Quinn Carrier. Quinn Carrier will generate a physical resource. Helicarrier will make a card cheaper to pay for what doesn't kill me. Heal 2 damage from your hero and ready them. So I go from 7 back up to 9. And I get ready. Do I play the force field generator or an electric arrow? I think I'm going to swing for 3 at the Frost Giant. And I'm going to use the electric arrow and energy to play for a force field generator. Gives me 6. Then we will have Mockingbird stay on the field. And we're just going to ready and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. We've got 2 readies next turn. Threat goes up by 1. Hela attacks for 1, 2 plus a boost. Should we take it or defend? We'll take this one. So I can definitely defend for 3. So actually, I'm going to, when the villain initiates an attack, spend a resource of any type. We'll spend the Quinn Carrier. And we'll return Mockingbird to my hand and prevent all that damage. She would swing for 4. I prevent all the damage. Perfect. Frost Giant attacks. I'm going to use a Helicarrier to play Desperate Defense, defend for 3. I take no damage, so I get to ready, exhaust, unflappable, and draw a card. Oh, I have been forgetting about this electrostatic armor, so that ends up making Frost Giant gone. Nice. Okay. My turn. Yes, no. Encounter card. Criminal Past. We'll flip down to Alter Ego and Exhaust. to get rid of it. Exhaust Clint Barton, so I may flip to Alter Ego, choose to either exhaust Clint Barton or discard Hawkeye's bow. I'm going to exhaust Clint Barton to get rid of this from the game. All right. So now we get to flip up. I am already exhausted, which kind of stinks, but I have some good things going on here. First of all, we're going to use the power of protection to generate physical resources to pay for what doesn't kill me. I get to heal 2, going up from 9 to 11, and I get to ready. What a great card. Then we're going to use a genius and an energy barrier to pay for Mockingbird. Mockingbird comes back in, and she'll thwart 2 off of the main, bringing it back down. Perfect. Hawkeye's Quiver is going to look at the top 5 cards of the deck. We get a Vibranium Arrow. Great to hold on to. Hawkeye's going to swing for 3 at Hela, taking her from 10 down to 7. Then we're going to use... She has a consequential. Earth's Mightiest Heroes to exhaust Blade and ready Hawkeye, who will swing again at Hela for 3. Taking her down to 4. We're ready. Drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we can get that armored vest in play. Threat goes up by 1. That brings us up to 5. Hela attacks for 2 plus a boost. I'm going to let it come through. 2. This card gains boost icons equal to the number of side schemes in the victory display. So it's 1. So she attacks for 1, 2, 3. We'll take 3 tokens here. And we get an encounter card, which is a Draugr with guard. When revealed, choose either to take 1 damage or place a threat on the main scheme. I will gladly take a damage. Awesome. My turn. Hawkeye's going to swing for 3 at the Draugr. He's gone. Hawkeye's Quiver. Going to exhaust to look at the top 5 cards of the deck. We'll take the Cable Arrow because I need to play it. We use the Expert Marksman to play it. That exhausts Hawkeye's bow and removes 3 threat from the scheme, bringing it back down to 2. I will use a Quinn Carrier to generate a physical resource and a Hela Carrier to make a card cheaper in order to pay for what doesn't kill me. I get to heal and ready. I am going to swing for 3 at Hela, taking her down to 1. Mockingbird will swing for 2 at Hela, taking her down to 0. Actually, she'll take 2. Well, instead of doing that, we'll go back up to 4. We'll just remove 3 threat from here. I think that's a better choice. Then I'm going to use Force Field Generator to pay for Armored Vest. So now I have 2 defense. We'll hold on to the Sonic Arrow. Actually, no, I can't do that. So we're going to ready and draw 4, 5. Threat goes up by 1 still. It's about to start going up by 2 again. So it goes up by 1. Hela attacks for 1 plus a boost. 1, 2 plus a boost. What do I have in hand? We'll defend for 2. She attacks for 3. We defended 2. 1 goes here. I took no damage, so unflappable triggers. And I can discard Indomitable to ready. Okay. She decked out, so we get an acceleration token. And now we get an encounter card. Sniper shot, deal 3 damage to your hero. I take 1 off here. That comes off, and we take 2. Back down to 10. Not bad. Not bad at all. My turn. Have any readies at all? No. It's okay. I will thwart 1 off of Jobber. Huh. I forgot about this being a boost. What did she have? She had 1, 2. She went through for 3. I defended for 2. We had 2 here. So I would have 1 more damage on me from the sniper shot. But I still defended all of her damage. So Gajabru is defeated. She gets that. She gets 2 more health. She's up to 6. And now we bring in Nidhogg. 6 health, tough. And the Hall of Nistrand. So we're going to be getting more boost cards here. And that comes in with 5 threat. There's reason that I did it that way. Cool. So now we're going to use Expert Marksman to pay for our Vibranium arrow that's in our hand. And that is going to exhaust Hawkeye's bow. Deals 6 damage and removes toughness before Nidhogg even gets a chance to do anything. Perfect. Be good to have some readies, but we don't have it. So Quinn Carrier and Hela Carrier are going to join with the Power of Protection as 2 more resources to pay for Iron Fist. Iron Fist comes in with 2 Mystic counters on him. He's going to swing at Hela for 2, and we'll remove a Mystic counter to make it an extra damage. So she goes from 6 to 3, and she gets stunned. Hawkeye's Quiver, we'll look at the top 5 cards of the deck. We have an Electric Arrow and Explosive Arrow. Let's take the Explosive Arrow, just in case. And we'll use a Sonic Arrow to pay for Night Nurse. It will go right there. She comes in with 3 tokens, which we'll go ahead and use 1 now. So we'll exhaust Night Nurse for her to heal me 1. She would remove a counter from me, but I have, or not a counter, a stunned or confused, but I don't have those. And we're going to use Mockingbird to take a damage and thwart 2 off of the Hall of Nistrand. Okay, then we will ready everything up here. We are looking in really good shape. Draw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Great. All right, so threat goes up by 2 this time. Brings us up to 5. Hela would attack, but she is stunned. We get an encounter card. It's a Draugr. I don't know why those things don't bother me at all. When revealed, take 1 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. I think we'll just take a damage. At this point, it's fine. So we'll attack Draugr and deal 3 damage to him. Yep. I don't know. It just feels like, whatever. Then I'm going to use Mockingbird to thwart 2 here. She does take her final consequential. Didn't really want to do that, but that is what it is. She gets discarded. Oh, I forgot we did get an extra encounter card. So we take 3 damage. So yeah, Mockingbird gets discarded. This is down to 1. Then I'm going to use Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'm going to exhaust Blade and ready Hawkeye. Hawkeye will thwart 1 off the Hall of Nostrand. This says when defeated, the first player detaches Odin from the main scheme and takes control of him, and deal each player 1 face down encounter card. So he now has 2 more health. Odin gets detached. While Odin is not attached to the main scheme, the first player gains control of Odin. Odin cannot have cards attached and does not count against your ally limit. Um, I guess he's still captive. What does it say here? The first player detaches Odin from the main scheme and takes control of him. Okay, well, sure. Okay, so we get Odin now. And actually, we're about to win because we just trigger Expert Marksman to pay for our Vibranium Arrow, which does exhaust Hawkeye's bow that I just did, and that deals 6 damage to Hela, taking her from 5 down to 0, and we win. That was a lot of fun. Working through all of that and just making everything work the way we wanted it to. It did take a little bit of setting up, but once we built Hawkeye up with downtime, endurance, armored vest, and I kept forgetting about the electrostatic armor. But with everything built out, I ended up having more resources than I knew what to do with. Getting cards on the table became not a problem at all, and it was a lot of fun. So Hawkeye can be really, really good in protection, and I think that I think protection is a very strong aspect for him. One of the things I might change, because it's something that I had a lot of trouble with the last few times I tried to face Hela with him, was I might add some hard to ignores in here. And maybe having the whole Blade and Earth's Mightiest Heroes thing is good, but I think that maybe having a hard to ignore or 2 in there would be really good to help keep the threat on the main scheme down. That was something that you could see that I struggled with at the beginning of the game. Uh, but once we started getting our cable arrows and Mockingbird and Yocasta, that really helped out. It was just keeping up with the threat at the beginning. But now we've won the game. It feels really good to say Hela has been defeated. Odin is free. And that's it. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to twist that like button and subscribe if you're brand new. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching. Keep it real.